So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to look at solving systems of equations by substitution. Recall that we can solve systems by graphing, substitution, or elimination. And systems of equations are equations with multiple variables. And we have the same number of equations as we have variables. So in all of these cases, we have two equations and two variables. So to solve a system by substitution, our first step is to solve one equation for x or for y. It doesn't matter which variable you choose. You want to choose the variable and the equation that's easiest to solve. So as I looked at this series, I believe that it's easiest to solve this one for y simply by adding x to both sides. So that's what I elected to do. So I've now restated y minus x equals 1 as y equals x plus 1. So I will use this to solve this equation. In the next step, we're going to go ahead and we're going to eliminate y from the second equation. So we have nothing but x's to solve for. So the way we'll do that is we'll restate the second equation as it's listed, y plus 2x equals 4. And since we have an expression for y by itself, we know that y is equal to x plus 1. We can restate the value of y in terms of x. So the equation y plus 2x equals 4 is the same value as the equation x plus 1 plus 2x equals 4, since we've established with our equation above that y is equal to x plus 1. It sounds complicated, but it's really not. This is a pretty easy way of solving equations and one that I think that you'll find you get used to. Once we've made this substitution, now we're simply going to simplify. So our first step is going to be to recognize that those parentheses didn't serve any function. We didn't have a number to distribute across them. So when we see the equation x plus 1 plus 2x equals 4, it's easy to see that we need to combine the like terms on the left side of the equation. So we now have 3x plus 1 equals 4. Our next step is to get the 3x by itself by subtracting 1 from both sides. So when we subtract 1 from both sides, we get 3x is equal to 3. Next, to get x by itself, we need to divide both sides by 3. So when we divide both sides of this equation by 3, we get x is equal to 1. So we're halfway finished now. We know the value of x equals 1. In order to determine the value of y, we just go back up into our original equations and we substitute in the value of x equals 1 and solve that equation for y. So I elected to use, again, the equation that I thought was the simpler one, which is y minus x equals 1. We've established that x is equal to 1, so that means I can just drop a 1 in for this value right here. So that's what I do. So my next statement is going to be y minus 1 equals 1. So in order to solve that, I need to add 1 to both sides. I'm subtracting 1 from y. So the inverse operation of subtracting 1 is adding 1. So that means when I add 1 to both sides of this equation, I get y is equal to 2. So then that goes along with the solution that popped up across the bottom. That solution is in the ordered pair format of x comma y. So it shows us that the solution is 1 for x and 2 for y. 1 comma 2. It's not that bad. You'll get used to it.